the Mortgage Minute. A couple things. We're going to go through some headlines, and I want to tell you about a seminar I'm going to be having live next week that I'd love for you and your guests to attend. First of all, in the news in the last few weeks, of course, the Bank of Canada came out and made the announcement that they're not going to change rates. The interesting thing is the Bank of Canada threw it back on Ottawa, saying, we're going to leave the rates alone. Ottawa, it's up to you to figure out what you want to do to slow down the overheated housing market, which was the impetus on the Justin Trudeau government. And look for more saber rattling there. I don't think they're really going to do much in terms of changing mortgage rules, at least for the next 6 months. In the meantime, the markets are plunging. I love this cartoon. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a bear running behind a bunch of people who are scattering for the exits. And that kind of describes the stock market. It is now in a full bear market. Here, this is from a few weeks ago. Canadian stocks plunged to bear market. And we're seeing a lot of that. The last one I want to show on that, global rout hits bear territory. Bottom line is we're seeing a lot of turmoil in the stock market. You know, I went to the Michael Campbell World Outlook Conference on the weekend, listening to a bunch of different speakers talking about the markets, and some were predicting, what the refugee crisis in Europe is going to, what kind of problems that's going to cause for Merkel and the German government. She may be on the way out, which could destabilize Germany, which could destabilize the euro. Britain is going to vote on their involvement in the European Union, and they're going to actually put it to the public in a referendum. The thought process is that the public's probably going to request an exit from that. If Britain exits from the EU, look for, watch this, follow the bouncing ball, look for a lot of destabilization in the European markets, so global money has to find a new home. They're not going to look to Europe, they're not going to go to China, they're certainly not going to go to Japan or India or Russia, so that money's going to find its home in North America again. They're going to look, money's going to seek safe harbors, money is going to seek things like perhaps gold, but more likely real estate. They're going to look to North American markets, and I'm going to suggest that Vancouver is a huge target for that a landing spot for the global money. So look for sustained values in this Vancouver market and other parts of Canada. Here's an article that's interesting. It talks about how much is enough for your emergency fund, and suggesting that experts recommend that you stash away 3 months of your net worth in a TFSA. So that begs the question, with all this global turmoil, the stock market's in a bear territory, where's the best place for you to be parking TFSA money? I know we got the RSP deadline, the TFSA deadline coming up. Because of all that, I'm going to be holding a seminar next Tuesday night right here in Port Moody at the Old Mill Boathouse from 7 to 8:30, and I'm going to talk about real estate, I'm going to talk about the stock market, what's happening there, and I'm going to talk about some private equity opportunities that you may or may not be aware of, things like investing in mortgages. And I'm going to have two very special guests. One is John Campbell, who's the chairman of Triview Capital. This guy, I'm going to have him on stage. We're going to do a little interview, and man, he is the former M&A mergers and acquisition guy for Jimmy Pattison. He's a portfolio manager in his past, has a long list of things he's done. That he's just a really amazing man who has a lot of history and knowledge on the markets. And so we're going to have a little fun with that, asking him some pertinent questions. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, send me an email so we can do that. I'm also going to have Alta Pacific Mortgage Investment Corporation. It's a MIC, private lender. They're going to be sharing some of the investment opportunities that they have as well. And as well, I'm going to be touching on a variety of different areas. And more important than any of all that is talking about your plan so that you understand where you are today, where you're going in the future, and what's the best way to get there. And again, in this market, with so much confusion, there's a lot of choices out there. There's a lot of angst and anxiety around what to do. Hopefully we can create some clarity around that. So check the email here for time, date, location. I hope I can see some of you. And of course, if you're out of province, send me an email with any of the questions you have. Love to set up a consultation. Lots of information, interesting information and stuff as always. That's the Mortgage Minute. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.